Hello. This is Tokyo Anesthesiology Clinic. This is Special Edition, Episode 6. In the previous episode, we talked about how in ketamine therapy, music, a sense of safety, and set and setting are also part of treatment. This time, we will continue from there. After treatment is over, how should the first 3 days be spent? The doctor places great importance on this period. Why 3 days? During that time, what should people do? Today, we will ask our director, Dr. Tori. This video provides medical information for a general audience. We do not provide individual diagnoses or treatment advice. If you have symptoms, please seek evaluation at a medical institution. In an emergency, please use emergency medical services. This video uses the director's AI avatar, synthetic voice, and synthetic video. The content is supervised by the director.
Hello, I am Dr. Tori, the director. First, I will state the conclusion. In ketamine therapy, the first 3 days after treatment are very important. I think of this period as an opportunity for rewiring. The brain's circuits may become a little easier to shift. The usual fixed patterns may loosen slightly. That is the kind of time this can be.
Doctor, why 3 days?
Neuroplasticity. In other words, the brain's circuits becoming easier to reshape. Ketamine tends to work in a direction that temporarily loosens fixed ways of thinking and feeling. After that, there may be a period when neural connections become a little easier to shift. In practical terms, I consider the first 3 days to be a useful guideline for that period.
So, during the 3 days after treatment, a person may return to old patterns or may move in a different direction. That is the kind of time we're talking about.
Exactly. That is why treatment is not simply received and finished. During those 3 days, what do you repeat? What do you bring in? What do you begin? Those things matter.
Then, please organize what is important during these 3 days.
There are 4 things. First, do not overthink. Second, move in small ways. Third, introduce small positive patterns. Fourth, avoid negative overriding. Today we will discuss these 4 points. First, please explain not overthinking. This is very important. After treatment, a person may feel something strongly, but it is important to not decide the full meaning of everything right away. This is destiny. I am completely cured now, or the opposite. Nothing happened, so it was a failure. Do not rush to make those kinds of conclusions. What I recommend is observation. Do not read too deeply. Do not analyze too much. Write a short note. Leave just one phrase. That is enough. This is not so much a time for understanding. It's more a time for nurturing change.
I see. Rather than digging too deeply into the inner world, first it's about observation.
Yes, observation is enough. Rather than thinking too much, look a little, notice a little. That level is just right.
The second point, moving in small ways, what does that mean?
This may be the most important point. Neuroplasticity does not mean that things automatically move in a good direction without doing anything. What matters is what is repeated. So during these 3 days, it's good to begin something you could not do before in a small way. For example, take a 5-minute walk. Reply to just one message you had not been able to answer. Open the curtains in the morning. Tidy up a little. Take a shower. Reduce the time sitting just a little. That level is enough. There is no need to make a big change. Start small. That is what matters.
So it's not waiting until motivation appears and then moving. It's more about moving a little and creating a new flow.
Exactly. These 3 days are a time when it may be easier to try new circuits. So rather than only thinking about it in your head, it's better to include small actions. That is how I see it.
What about the third point, introducing small positive patterns?
This includes not only behavior, but also thinking. However, this does not mean forcing yourself to be positive. Think positively, be grateful. That is not what I mean. For example, instead of everything is hopeless, you might say, maybe I'm still in the middle of change. Instead of I can't do anything, you might say, today I will try for just 5 minutes. Instead of it's the same as always, you might say, maybe there is a slightly different response. Try introducing a slightly better pattern like that. That is enough.
So it's not about changing all of your thoughts, it's about shifting the direction slightly.
Yes, that is realistic. You don't need a major realization or a major answer. Just choose a slightly different response. The accumulation of those small choices is important.
The fourth point, avoiding negative overwriting, also sounds important.
It is important. When things may be a little easier to shift, try not to add too much strong stress or negative repetition. For example, overriding it with alcohol, continuing to stay up late, continuing to scroll through social media, entering into a strong argument, making a major decision on impulse. These are things I do not recommend very much. Sleep is especially important. Sleep is related to how the brain organizes and consolidates things. So during these 3 days, please try to create conditions that allow you to sleep well. Please place importance on that.
So, during the 3 days after treatment, do not think too deeply, move in small ways, introduce slightly positive patterns, avoid negative overwriting. Those are the 4 points.
Yes, those are the 4 points. To say it more briefly, observation, small actions, positive repetition, avoiding negative overriding. That's it.
If there is no major realization, does that mean it was meaningless?
No, that is not the case. What matters during these 3 days is not a dramatic experience, it's small changes. I slept a little better. I moved a little more. My thoughts felt a little lighter. It was easier to meet someone. That is enough. In fact, connecting those small changes to daily life is more important. Please do not judge everything based on whether or not there was a major realization.
Finally, could you summarize?
There are 4 key points today. First, the first 3 days after treatment are an opportunity for rewiring. Second, what matters is not thinking deeply, but first observing. Third, start with small things you could not do before and introduce slightly positive patterns. Fourth, avoid negative overriding, such as alcohol, staying up late, taking in too much information, or making major impulsive decisions. Do not just receive the treatment and leave it there. That is today's conclusion.
Thank you. The 3 days after treatment are not just a time to wait, they're an opportunity for rewiring, and how we use that opportunity matters. That was today's topic. Next time, we'll move on to a broader overview. How is ketamine different from psychedelics? Where are they similar? Where are they different? And why are they often confused? That will be our topic. This channel provides medical information for a general audience. We do not provide individual diagnoses or treatment advice. Thank you for watching today.
Thank you very much.